welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrero. Today is Thursday, August 1st, 2024. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. We'll get to Brock Purdy breaking his silence on the training camp interceptions in a minute, but first, here are some highlights from practice yesterday. No quarterback, not Brock, not Brandon Allen, not Josh Dobbs, none of them threw an interception. Hooray, let's throw a party. Meanwhile, the running backs continue to look good, including Jordan Mason and Cody Schrader. That seems to be getting rave reviews from everybody, including Kyle Juszczyk a couple days ago. In terms of receivers, Ronnie Bell flashed yesterday. Now, there were a lot of guys that did not suit up in practice, but he looked good. And let's be honest, he really needed a good day because he's been having his struggles. And speaking of struggles, oh, by the way, Danny Gray was seen talking to a trainer. He may be injured again. Speaking of injuries, Matt Barrows did say that Leonard Floyd appears to be dealing with some sort of hand injury. Now, it hasn't cost him any practice time, but Barrows says it may be affecting his pass rush. Now, to the audio portion of today's show, a lot has been made about Brock Purdy and interceptions in training camp. He had 7 in 2 days this week. We heard a lot about it last year as well. Well, Brock Purdy was a guest on KNBR, and he addressed those training camp interceptions.
It's a fine line. You want to go out, you want to be efficient, you want to go through reads and obviously protect the ball and whatnot. But right now is the time for us to go out and, you always hear the quarterback say experiment, but that's really what it is. Can I fit it in this window on this hitch? Can I look off Fred or Flan or Devondre in a certain way and then make that throw backside? You got to try it out. I mean, in the game and in the season, it comes down to protecting the ball every snap, every play. So you can't necessarily try those things out. Right now we can. And so my mindset right now is, protect the ball, but let's be aggressive. Let's try this out. Let's figure it out. And so obviously I want to go through my reads, check the ball down, and work on that as well because that's real. That's football. But there's a time and a place where I'm like, hey, you know what? This is practice, and I'm going to drop back and try this out. So and then you figure out that it could be a part of your game or not for the season.
Considering the year this guy just had, setting the franchise record for passing yards, don't we think he's earned just a little bit of grace? I think he has. One more from Brock Purdy. Hey, are you going to play in the preseason?
We're obviously going to have to see by the time those games come just where I'm at and how I'm feeling with, just my progress, my growth, and do I need the reps in games? That's sort of how it was last year. And obviously the inter-squad scrimmages against the Saints this year will be good for me, and we'll go from there. But I'm the kind of guy that I do love the live game reps, man. You can't get enough just in terms of the pass rush, getting hit. That's real football at practice. There's guys running by. You don't know if they're sacked or not. You don't really have the real just the off play kind of scrambles and stuff. So that's my mindset with it. We'll see as we get closer, though.
I know. You always have to balance caution and preparation, but I hope we get to see at least a little bit of Brock in the preseason. He needs reps. He's still a young player, 25 years old. He played in the preseason a little bit last year. Let's see it this year. Get him in, get him out, get back to our real life. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Thursday. Pro Football Focus took a deep dive on the best red zone offenses in the league last year. Guess who was number one? Spoiler alert. San Francisco. If you want to find out how and why, click the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch, I sound like a broken record, but it's a new song, I swear. Steph Sanchez had another training camp practice report. She broke down every single thing that happened. Again, went through all the position groups for you. She had boots on the ground. If you want to know the nitty gritty of every single position group, again, go check that out. It's on the YouTube page now. YouTube exclusive. I'll have a link in the description. It's not an audio podcast, so you got to go to the YouTube page if you want to check that out. One thing you may have missed, the NFL Top 100 is out, and while it's not finished yet, the Niners have 7 players inside the top 30. Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy, and Deebo Samuel. And oh, by the way, that doesn't count Dre Greenlaw, who was outside the top 30. And I know what you're saying. Great, go win a Super Bowl. Yes, we all want them to win a Super Bowl. But damn, this 49ers team is still, I might add, still loaded. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. wherever you get your audio podcasts. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell so you get notified every single time we go live, which is every single weekday for you. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.